Well, since today I went 3-1 with GemKnights since they're legal, and I've had a whole lot of people asking me how in the heck I did it, because they just assume that these guys are bad. I decided to do a deck profile of the deck I played today, so I'll just move that over here for now. Get into monsters first. Alright, so for starters, 3 copies of Gem Armadillo. It's a Stratus for the deck. Whenever he's normal summoned, I can search out a GemKnight, so that's awesome, just card advantage. 1 copy of Gem Turtle, flip summons. You can search out a GemKnight Fusion, which is awesome. These are all rocks, so those will lead into my fusion plays later on. 3 copies of GemKnight Obsidian. If you discard from your hand to the graveyard, you can special summon a normal monster out of the graveyard. I do play the Gemini version of GemKnights, so he's just boss. 3 copies of GemKnight Sardonyx. GemKnight Sardonyx has 1800 attack, which makes him pretty good, but what's really great about him is when he's Gemini summoned, you can, if he destroys a monster in battle, you can search out a GemKnight card, which includes GemKnight Fusion, over any of the GemKnight monsters, so he's really a great searcher for the deck, and that's why I run him at 3. 1 copy of GemKnight Amber. Amber can help you get your banished cards back in the same way that Sardonyx can help you get them out of the deck. 2 copies of GemKnight Garnet. I don't run Rabbit in my build. I don't, go with the 6 normal monsters, but I do run Garnet because I do go into Ruby, and with 1900 he's a beater. He can be special summoned with Obsidian, so Garnet works really great for me at 2. 2 copies of Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk can pretty much summon any monster in the deck, well, most of the monsters in the deck, and it's really great with GemKnight Fusion because you can add the GemKnight Fusion right back to your hand by banishing a GemKnight monster, so that means that I can pretty much get free summons with Summoner Monk mid to late game. 2 copies of Max C. It's an Earth, and I can discard it really whenever I want, which is great. And, obviously it's a hand trap and gives me massive draw power. 1 copy of Card Trooper. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Gets me my GemKnights into the graveyard quicker, gets my GemKnight Fusion into the graveyard quicker. And finally, 1 copy of Grand Soil. Grand Soil, this is one of the few decks that I think you have enough graveyard control with Earth to really run Grand Soil. I had him at 2, but I went down to 1, and like today, every single time that I drew him, never had a problem summoning him. So, into the spells, 2 copies, 2 GemKnight Fusions. I've tried to tell people, and most of the GemKnight players that have been playing GemKnights for a while agree, once you get 2 copies with 2 GemKnight Fusions, that's really all you need, because once you get one, you really don't even need to find a second one. 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. 1 copy of Monster Reborn, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Heavy Storm, 2 Pot of Duality. This is just, to search for that GemKnight Fusion a little bit faster. 2 copies of Gemini Spark. Obviously I have, a good number of Gemini monsters in here, and I can recur them really easily, so Gemini Spark puts in work. And 1 copy of Dark Factory of Mass Production, just so I can get back any of the card advantage that I've lost from my fusion summoning. Finally, into the traps here, we got 2 copies of Fiendish Chain, 1 copy of Mirror Force, 2 Dimensional Prison, 1 Torrential Tribute. This was kind of, I had 2 in here, and I just went down to 1, because I chose to put in Solemn Judgment. 2 copies of Bottomless Trap Hole, my 1 copy of Solemn Judgment, and 1 copy of Solemn Warning. extra deck. Alright, one copy of GemKnight Seraphite. This will give you the extra normal summons you need, plus you know you can fuse it off of any lights, which you don't really have a lot of lights in your main deck, but with the extra deck, with your Xyz and stuff, you can get to them, plus your opponent, you know, could be summoning them. A lot of times game 2 I'll go into, if I'm playing against a light deck, I can also go into Super Poly, so that's nice. One copy of GemKnight Ruby. This is just an awesome, probably one of the best GemKnight monsters, GemKnight fusions, just because you can boost its attack and it can do breakthrough, and it combos amazingly with my one copy of GemKnight Master Diamond. So really, like, a lot of the times when I summon him, I want to turn him into GemKnight Ruby and then use Ruby's effect to pump up his attack even further. So, like, I've had him, like, today I had him at 68 at one point with breakthrough, which was just awesome. 2 copies of GemKnight Citrine. Whenever you attack with Citrine, your opponent can't activate any effects, monster trap, or spell. So, yeah, that's just great because you don't really have to worry about deep prisms or mirror forces or anything stupid like that. 1 copy of GemKnight Prismara. You can discard a GemKnight card, including GemKnight Fusion, to destroy a face-up card on the field. So, like, this will get rid of a lot of your back row problems that are just, like, looming back there, or field spells. Like, I absolutely love taking out Gates of Dark World or Necker Valley or stupid things that they rely on with this. 3 copies of GemKnight Zirconia. This is the beater for the deck, 2900 attack. Pretty easy to summon because all you need is a GemKnight and a rock, and there's tons of rocks in the deck. 1 copy of number 16 Shockmaster. Obviously I had to run it on the level 4s, so it's not hard to have 3. 1 copy of GemKnight Pearl. It's a GemKnight deck. What more do I need to say? 1 copy of Mistroke. He's one of the best rank 4s in the game, and he can protect himself, so great. 1 copy of Utopia. 1 copy of number 40, Gimmick Puppet of Strings. You may go, well, why do you run number 40? The number 40 can be summoned by overlaying 2 copies of GemKnight Zirconia, or with the Grand Soil of the main deck. Also, number 40 is great because you can burn with his effect and just destroy massive amounts of stuff. So, like, I had an opponent today who was sitting behind Swords Revealing Light. I'd already used up all my back row destruction. I summoned Gimmick Puppet. I had 2 monsters on the field. He had 1,000 life points left. I used Gimmick Puppet's effect. If he can't destroy my monsters by the end of his turn, he loses. So, being that at that point I had a full back row, there was nothing he could do. And finally, 1 copy of number 11 Big Eye. This one can be made by overlaying a couple of other fusions, like Prismara or Citrine, are both level 7s. So I can easily overlay these 2, or I can overlay 2 Citrines into a Big Eye. Finally, the side deck. Normally I don't do the side deck, but today I will. I ran 2 Droll Unlocks, 2 copies of Gozen Match. Almost all my monsters are Earth, so 1 copy of Super Poly, a 3rd MST in my side deck, along with the 3rd Gemini Spark in my side deck, 2 copies of Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, 2 copies of Effect Veiler, 2 copies of Raikou, 1 copy of GemKnight Lazuli, and I just want to show the people this. GemKnight Lazuli's effect says, if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target a normal monster in the graveyard and add it back to your end. So, with GemKnight Lazuli, if you discard it for a lot of the GemKnight effects, those are costs. Like Prismara, that's a cost. So you won't get the effect of Lazuli. However, with Raikou, you will. So comboing Raikou, Lazuli, and Seraphite can be really advantageous. So that's why I'll put these three in all together. Alright, so that is my GemKnight deck profile, and I'm just going to leave you with the wonderful image of some of my favorite monsters who just brought me mad amounts of wins today. So, thank you to these four, and hope you guys like the profile.